Hey guys, it's Rand here at Model Domestic Church. I wanted to do a video with you guys kind of about I don't even know what I'm going to title this thing, but it's just kind of about the place that I'm at in my homeschool walk. It's a place I never thought I'd ever be in. And the only reason I'm even making this video is because I'm thinking someone out there is going to be like, I get what she's talking about, and it's going to be encouragement, or at least like kind of like one of those sisterhood videos. You just feel like you're not alone. But basically it's just about how I was so sure about homeschooling and I felt so confident about it. And I just knew it was like the way to do it and everything. And I was on this constant curriculum search, like the issues I was having in our homeschool. It wasn't because of, this or that. It was really just curriculum. So I was constantly searching for the next curriculum. But I got to a place in my walk where I found a curriculum that works really well. And what's interesting is that a lot of the issues that we've had are still here, are still going on. And so I recognized that, okay, this is not a curriculum issue. This is just like, I don't want to call it an issue because it's not like a bad thing, but it's just, there's something going on here and it's not quite working within our homeschool. And this has brought me to a place where I've shared with some of my friends that I've kind of entered into this identity crisis as a woman, kind of, because so much of who I was has been wrapped up around the fact that I am a stay-at-home mom, that I'm a homeschool mom, that I'm a mom of, kind of a bigger family. There's just so much of kind of who I am is wrapped up in that when that kind of changes, something has happened to me and I just can't quite get back that like fire, that dreamy joy, that it's just not here anymore. And it's such an odd thing because I have plenty of children to homeschool and we're still homeschooling and everything. But that feeling I had, that drive I had is literally, it just feels like it's completely gone. And guys, I always have like a million flyaways, so you have to forgive me. But I just can't get it back. So I've done a lot of things for my own personal health that I've shared on this channel. Sorry, this table's messed up. And I'm also going to be going to my doctor to get a full panel checked for all of like my vitamin levels, like vitamin D. And they've checked my iron. My thyroid is like perfect. It's good. And still I have this just total unrest, constant feeling of being overwhelmed. So a big part of it was that my son has had eczema for a couple months and I have not slept well for months. So my husband has made sure to take some time off. He's been helping me. I've been getting sleep, which some of you out there are probably like, well, that's nice. You shouldn't be complaining at all. And I'm not complaining. I'm very, very thankful that first of all, he was even able to do that. Second of all, that he chose to do that. I was really in a low place. And I don't think it would have been something, we've never done that before where he's really taken time from work and stayed home. But I was having a really hard time. And so I was able to kind of catch up on my sleep and we've changed our diet a lot, which I've shared on here. We've added a lot of supplements in and it's helping, but I'm still finding this place inside of me, or my daughter needed something, this place inside of me where I'm just like, I got to a place where I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do this anymore. And I've never, ever felt that way. And like one of the things I think that did not help was when I was in my low place, I started watching the show Friends, which seriously, I have not watched that in like 14 years. And I watched it. And first of all, no offense to anybody who loves that show. I loved it when I was younger. Watching it as an adult, especially in the walk that my life, I was like, these people are so self-involved. Like it's all about them. They're like these grown-up children. Like that's what I was thinking. And I'm not saying that you are a grown-up child if you live this way. I do not mean that. I was just sharing my thought process. Because when I was a younger person, I'd look at them and think, this is the role model. This is who, I'm going to be one day. I'm going to be this single person living in a city. This is what I'm going to do. And since my life doesn't reflect at all what I originally thought, going back and watching it was kind of shocking. And it was actually pretty detrimental for me. I had to literally stop watching it. It was giving me I was like getting depressed from watching it. And I was getting this place where I was like trying to, make sense out of it, how it's okay for them and it's okay for me and it's okay. And I was like, First of all, this is the TV show. So that's why I'm very cautious about what I watch, because I have a lot of triggers And I tend to get very like, I'm very sensitive and things affect me like so easily. My husband's like the complete opposite. He can handle like anything. But so I cut that out. I cut watching that. And I just really tried to be really cautious with the books that I was reading or what I was watching. And I really tried to do like really good self-care, like, you know, what am I putting inside my body? Not just eating, but also looking at what am I putting on my skin? Just really being cautious. And that sounds like so crazy, but I just got to a place where I had to do that. And this feeling of, I just don't want to do this anymore, it just never really left. It's still kind of like around. And so I've had to really process through and be like, what is it that you don't want to do anymore? Well, obviously I still want to be a mom and I still want to be a wife and I want to have my life. But it was like, I think what was happening, and this is kind of where I'm coming from, is I don't want to live in this like state of fear anymore. I don't want to live in this place where it's like all of my decisions are made because something is so bad somewhere else, or I want to homeschool my kids because my homeschool experience, my education going to school was just, I thought was so bad. Not education, my experience like with bullying and the stuff that I was exposed to, and with the way that I'm so sensitive. And when I was younger, I was just so like gullible, which I like to think of being gullible as being very kind and sweet. But if you don't have a good moral compass, or if you don't know how to read people very well, it cannot lead to good things. So I personally come to a place now where I've recognized, and I know I've shared this on another video, that like, you know, school wasn't the issue. I had issues coming from other places, and school just magnified those issues. And so, you know, that helped me to get over my fear of school for the most part for my kids. And I still want to homeschool. But then I have to go back to a place of like, I had not done hardly any character development with my kids in a long time. I haven't poured out into them the way that I really, really desire to, because I'm just so busy. Like I am not even, I mean, it's like the only time I sit down is to nurse a baby. And other than that, I am constantly on. I'm constantly on mentally. I'm constantly on emotionally. I'm, you know, I have two still in diapers. So, you know, I'm changing diapers. And then I have, you know, one that still needs help going to the bathroom. And then I have, you know, the older kids that I have to constantly on to make sure of doing chores and to make sure of, you know, self-care for them. And this is motherhood. You don't just run away from this, obviously. And I don't want to, but at the same time, it's so hard. And I feel like when you're kind of alone in that, and it's just every day, 24/7, because I'm up at night, it feels like it just all crashed down on me. And I feel like I broke, like mama broke. So my husband, he had stayed home for a bit and helped out. And what that means is like, he was here. Like I still did everything that I did, but he was here if I needed, you know, some help with like our oldest son. He's really changing and developing, and he's becoming a young man. He's only 11, but he's like the size of a 14, 15-year-old, and he's quick, and he's definitely changing over from being like a young boy in the home to becoming on his way to being a young man. And in that process, it takes time, but there's definitely a shift happening. And so he was kind of able to, you know, my husband being home, kind of being that fatherly voice. That was kind of helpful. And then, but yeah, so my point in that is just that something in me felt like it broke. That it just kind of, all of these years of like choosing to do things mostly out of fear, feeling like I was all alone in this, because we did move a lot and it was hard to make good friendships. And I never really thought that friendships were as important as an adult. Then, you know, I don't know, I had all these things. So my husband was home. He said, you know, I think you should go to mom's group, because I never go, because I try to be the staple in the home of the mother. Like I literally just don't go out, like hardly ever. I try to really be here, like, and so I went, and of course, you know, I cried there, but I shared my heart with the women that were there. And I shared that how, you know, when you move a lot, and any of you guys are like, have husbands that are military, or if you're in the military, or if you just move for your work, you can attest to this, that it can be really challenging moving from one place to another. And you just kind of, I remember over at a Catholic mom's life, she shared about how she would go to these like mom groups, and they were like, people were like, how can you just go? You don't know anyone. And I was like, I totally get that. You just have to put yourself out there, because you just you won't meet people. Like there's such a shift and such a move. And for a while, I just kind of didn't know anyone other than like my family. I connected with you guys on here, which has been so wonderful. I just really value so many of you. You're just so kind, and I appreciate kind of the back and forth on this channel. And then I have my friends from Steubenville that I've kept in contact with, and another one that she's kind of moved around too, and we've kept in contact. But you know, we've been here for 2 years. It's time, like this is our home now. And that was another part of this whole identity crisis, was that I knew how to be a mother, a wife and a mother who moved all the time, who just survived through things sometimes. I don't have any experience with being a wife and a mother being settled. And that might sound really silly to you guys, like, well, you're settled, that's great. It is so great, but I have no experience in it. So like right now, what's happening inside of myself, it's been 2 years. So I'm prepping, because that's roughly what it's been for us every 2 years, almost 3, you know. I'm prepping for, okay, we gotta pack everything up and we're gonna make new friends for the kids, and but that's not happening. I'm like, we're here. So I went to this mom's group, met some women, and I mean, I already knew them, but we talked and everything, but more, got to know them a bit more, and then trying to make that more of a regular thing, at least sometimes going to mom's group. And then, you know, just trying to get my kids more involved. Definitely feel so much better about sending our kids to Catholic school now that we're settled, and I feel confident and a lot better about the school that's here. But yeah, so I just wanted to make this for sharing my heart with you guys, but also like if you're in a place where you feel like everything is just kind of falling in on you and you're like trying your best to carry through, and it is just so hard. I get it. I really feel for you. And, you know, my husband and our marriage hasn't always been the way it is now. And I've made videos in the past to share some of that process with you guys. Kind of like becoming a Proverbs 31 woman, you know, being married to an unbelieving husband, being the one who makes a mess of things when it's so easy to blame the husband. But when you realize that you're at fault and you've made mistakes, and then getting back up, you know, pulling your big girl boots on and building a good track record with your spouse and all of those things. So we're at a place now where, you know, we love the Lord. He serves the Lord in work. We feel like our lives are a walk in ministry. But at the same time, we also feel like we're human beings, and we just want to be like what God intended for us to be human beings in this world, but not of the world, you know, walking in ministry, but still being a human being. So, you know, sometimes I think we can get wrapped up in that as Christian women. That's all about ministry. It's all about, and it is, but it's also about being a woman. And it's also about being a wife and a mother and a daughter and a friend and just a person, and letting that be okay. And, you know, some of you guys might be like, well, duh, but I cannot be the only one that, you know, has poured myself out into this to the point where there's like nothing left and where I don't take care of myself. I know I cannot be the only one. So anyway, this might be a whole big jumble of mess video, but I hope that my heart has reached your heart. That might be kind of cheesy, but that someone, you know, maybe was encouraged by this, even if just one person. My little guy has found me, so I'll probably have to go. My little guy, he's the one with eczema. He's had such a hard time, but I think it's getting better. Anyway, so to wrap this video up is that I've gone through this very hard experience, and I am trying by the best that I can to do a few things. One, have really solid, as best I can, but solid self-care. Really watching, number two, really watching what I put in my body, on my body, what I watch, what I listen to, making sure it's building up and being encouraging. I'm trying to really focus on gratitude and thinking about all the wonderful things. I used to live in a 400 square foot cabin with 5 kids, my husband and I. Now we live in a really big, wonderful home that we love. I never thought I'd have a homeschool room like this. Sometimes I'm like, how can you even like feel down? You know, but that's just how it is. I've had thyroid levels so off, but now mine is on. It's good, you know. I have felt this, I felt that, but like there's so many things to be grateful for. So that's another part. Another part is really being like my own, like an advocate for myself when it comes to health. It's okay, buddy. Our puzzle broke. But being an advocate for myself. So when my doctor says everything's fine, I made another appointment saying, I need you to check like all my levels. I need everything checked because I know myself and I know something's wrong. And so, you know, going down that route. And then not being afraid to share with my husband. Sometimes I think women, maybe you don't all feel this way, but I think sometimes women get nervous about sharing their heart with their husband because he is a guy. And sometimes guys, you know, kind of joke about things when you're trying to be serious, or guys do this or that. But I think that I have found that the more that I am sincere and just at the beginning say, I just need to share with you for a minute if you could listen. And then I just share my heart. And then I know everyone's always like, oh, our husbands just want to fix everything. We just want to talk. I'm really okay with my husband trying to fix my problems. Like, if I have really tried my hardest to fix it and I've done all these things I can and I can't, if I go to him, sometimes he comes up with the best stuff that I would have never thought on my own. So don't be so quick to dismiss a husband who tries to fix issues, because sometimes we want to talk, but we don't need to stay in this if we don't need to, you know? So anyway, please pray for me. I know that sounds funny because we always want to pray for other people, but I would love your prayers. Wow, right when I asked for your prayers, the sun just shined on me. It was a cool moment. Anyway, so the Lord is good, and the church is good, and human beings are just generally I think, the heart, you know, we're good, but we're capable of evil, but there is so much good there. There is so much good. And I just wanted to share this video with you guys. And so anyway, I'm not even gonna ask anyone to subscribe on this video. This is just a heartfelt like talk with y'all, mama to mama, and that feeling of just feeling so broken and then having to figure out how to pick those pieces up and asking to help others to help you and do the best you can and pray like you never prayed before. Anyway, all my kids are coming in. So I will talk to you all later. God bless.